Λοιπόν, έχουμε αποφασίσει ότι εμείς συνεχίζουμε.
Λοιπόν, είναι ο Πάνος καμένος στον αύλιο χώρο. Ναι, είναι ο...
Ναι, έρχονται από παντού.
The Greek public broadcaster, ERT, was taken off air on June 11th, 2013. ERT quickly became Greece's most high-profile casualty of the Eurozone crisis. The shutdown came by decree from Prime Minister Antonis Samaras. There had been no parliamentary or public consultation. Staff refused to leave their workstations and began an occupation. They continued to broadcast over the internet. Demonstrations erupted outside the building, protesting the government's perceived attack on democracy. This film follows ERT's struggle against the government amid Greece's uncertain political climate. ERT had been broadcasting for 75 years. It had survived both the Nazi occupation and Greece's military dictatorship. Now, with a single government announcement, it was gone. It's been a week and a half, and the staff refused to accept defeat. One of the journalists involved, Maria Kontaxi, had been working in ERT for 27 years.
It was the worst time in my life, and I thought a big part of my life was ending right there, but it was not as it seems. We are trying to do our best so the government will take it back.
After the parliamentary elections in 2012, three parties formed the Greek coalition government. Prime Minister Antonis Samaras heads majority party New Democracy. Evangelos Venizelos is the leader of second party PASOK, with the smallest party, Democratic Left, led by Fotis Kovelis. The fragile coalition had experienced many disagreements in the past, though ERT seemed to be the last straw for the two smaller parties. Both PASOK and Democratic Left claimed they had not been warned in advance about the ERT shutdown. They, among many others, condemned New Democracy for their perceived authoritarianism.
I think it is absolutely undemocratic, it's absolutely unconstitutional. The independence of the Greek state have created a systemically corrupt system that needs to be reformed or needs to be abolished altogether.
Crisis meetings had been arranged later in the day to decide the future of the government. If both minority parties were to leave, it would trigger fresh elections. Barely a year old, the coalition has been caught between the demands of the European Union and the frustrations of its citizens. The unpopularity of the austerity measures being imposed on Greece has forced the government to employ more and more undemocratic methods to implement its policies.
They needed to show to the Troika guys, the European Union, the Monetary Fund, and the Central Bank, that they can lay off 2,500 people. That was the benchmark they had. They had to lay off 2,500 people. It wasn't a political move. It was a purely fascist move.
It was also obviously non-legitimized because it was obvious that it wouldn't pass from the parliament. This is why Antonis Samaras decided to go by decree.
ERT was now just collateral damage in the attempt to keep Greece in the Eurozone. Greece's top court, the Council of State, ordered that ERT's signal be restored until a new public broadcaster was launched. 3 days later, the government still hadn't acted.
You know, if you were working in a public sector and you are a journalist and you are in so many years thinking that you have with your job helping people understand and listen and learn what's happening in the whole world, And you are doing that because you are loving your job. It's a relationship that can't be broken with a word. We're closing. It's more emotional. You're right. It's more than losing our job. It's not only because we're going to be on the street and we're going to be unemployed. It's more that we're going to lose our home. Here is our home.
The staff keep the building occupied 24 hours a day. This is not easy. They are all exhausted and anxious about the future.
We're independent. We're the journalists and the people that are working in ERT. We're independent. We're doing our best to save our work, our jobs. And not only our jobs, but how the people remain on control of the public television. That's what we want.
In the past, ERT's independence has been called into question many times. This was largely because of the government corruption which had been going on in ERT for decades.
We have two different aspects of the same theme, of the same issue. We have the government that appoints whomever they want, paying them huge amounts of money without them doing anything. And on the other hand, we have journalists and other employees that were getting paid with salaries of 1,000, 1,200. They are all laid off under a certain reason of the government that they were corrupt, or they were overpaid, or they were put there. That's completely false.
Government spokesman Simos Kedikoglou condemned ERT in his announcement of the closure.
Η ελληνική ραδιοφωνία τηλεόραση, η ERT, είναι μια χαρακτηριστική περίπτωση μοναδικής αδιαφάνειας και απίστευτης σπατάλης. Και αυτό τελειώνει σήμερα.
The words that he used, the press minister, it was very hard for me because he was saying that we are the corruption in Greece. We are representing the corruption in Greece.
Well, of course they were employing staff under government influence because the main directors were always appointed by the government that was at the time. And they tried to influence ERT through the unions, through certain journals, through certain anchormen and women in order to pass their voice and state news in their favor.
It was also revealed Kedikoglou had a history in the organization he had lambasted.
He's himself a journalist, and he used to work for the ERT. Everyone says how clientelistic the relationship in ERT was. The ways that people were employed there. So himself was one of those.
Clientelism was not the only inconsistency within the government's reasons for the ERT shutdown. The claim that the broadcaster was losing €300 million a year was quickly proven false.
It doesn't have any financial problems. ERT have no financial problems. We're earning money.
Although ERT made a loss in 2009, they reported a profit of €34 million in 2010. This increased to €57 million the following year. In 2012, profits were estimated at €15 million after Samaras had reallocated €75 million to the electricity market operator. This means ERT made a total of €90 million the year before its closure. Crowds gather outside as evening approaches. Many are speculating over the collapse of the coalition, which could trigger fresh elections. Tension is high in the building as the crisis talks wear on. a new government would be ERT's best chance of survival, saving the jobs of over 2,500 employees.
I would gamble that there is a very short time left in this government. The other partners of the government don't have anything to win politically. I don't expect them to waste all their political capital in order for the best to happen for the country. They also have to look at their own political survival.
Before long, one of the news directors informs the staff of a tip-off from sources close to the government.
Για ακούστε ρε συνάδελφοι, μια πληροφορία τελευταία. Βγες του Μαξίμου, λένε ότι ο Σαμαράς τους είπε ότι αυτή η κυβέρνηση δεν μπορεί να σταθεί. Η πληροφορία που υπάρχει είναι ότι ο Κουβέλης πάει στην κοινωνική ομάδα, λέει να τους πει ότι φεύγει από την κυβέρνηση και ο Βενιζέλος για να τους ρωτήσει αν θα μείνει μόνος του. Αυτά τώρα σε ό,τι διαρρέεται, ό,τι κυκλοφορεί. Σας είπα τι διαρρέεται από πηγές ανθρώπους που ότι ο Σαμαράς τους είπε ότι αυτή η κυβέρνηση δεν μπορεί να σταθεί.
I don't know. Maybe we are going on election, maybe not. I believe that whatever happens today, Greece is not the same anymore.
Democratic left leader Kouvelis is the first to make his statement after the meeting.
Και επέμενα ακριβώς για τους λόγους που προανέφερα. Και νομίζω ότι θα έπρεπε ο κ. Πρωθυπουργός να προσέλθει σε αυτή την...
Παιδιά, έφυγε από την κυβέρνηση. Έφυγε ο Κουβέλης από την κυβέρνηση. Μου στείλα μήνυμα τώρα.
Από την πολιτική δεν είναι δική μας ευθύνη ότι δεν βρέθηκε ο κοινός πολιτικός τόπος. Η πρόταση που κάναμε αποτελούσε την καλή βάση να προσέλθει και η Νέα Δημοκρατία, να προσέλθει σε αυτή την κοινή βάση, να αποδειχθεί την πρότασή μας και ο κύριος Πρωθυπουργός.
Παίρνει τα λεφτά από το Βενιζέλο τώρα, παιδιά. Μπράβο!
Διαλύστε την τι να κάνουμε. Προηγείται.
Τελείως.
Απόψε κοιτάξτε σε λίγο τι γράφουν οι Financial Times. Μόνο τους λέω.
Δεν θέλει να χρεωθεί αυτό.
Αποχώρησε, το είδες.
Παιδικολικό σύνδρομο. Πέμπτωματική θεραπεία και να
Είμαι μαζί.
είσαι μαζί.
Τζέγκα, πώς το λένε αυτό το παιχνίδι που τραβάς ξυλάκια. Τζέγκα, έτσι. Άρχισε να τραβάει τα ξυλάκια από τα πόδια που στηρίζουν την κυβέρνηση. Οπότε, τελείωσε.
After Kouvelis' speech, everything hinged on PASOK leader Venizelos.
Σύγκληση κοινοβουλευτικών ομάδων Πασόκ Θυμάρ. Αυτή την ώρα υπάρχει κόκο-μπλόκο και πολύ σοβαρό θέμα. Πολύ σοβαρό θέμα στη συνοχή της κυβέρνησης.
It's a little bit soon to tell what I think. I believe that the government has to fall and we go on elections and we'll save ERT.
και τον κύριο Κατρούγκαλη. Καλησπέρα.
Η κυβέρνηση έδωσε όμως μάχη, sorry.
Βρεθήκαμε αντιμέτωποι με ένα τεράστιο θεσμικό πρόβλημα λόγω της ατυχούς πρωτοβουλίας της Νέας Δημοκρατίας να ενεργήσει μονομερός ως κυβέρνηση, να διακόψει τη λειτουργία της δημόσιας ραδιοτηλεόρασης, της ΕΡΤ. Αλλά βεβαίως και με δεδομένα τα προβλήματα που έχουμε ακόμη ανοιχτά μπροστά μας, που πρέπει να τα διαπραγματευτούμε με τους Ευρωπαίους εταίρους μας με τον καλύτερο δυνατό τρόπο. Το μείζον σε σχέση με την δημόσια ραδιοτηλεόραση, δηλαδή την επάνωδο της ΕΡΤ εν λειτουργία, με το σύνολο του προσωπικού της, την άμεση ψήφιση του νέου νομοθετικού πλαισίου που θα προσφέρει τις αναγκαίες θεσμικές εγγυήσεις ανεξαρτησίας, την σύσταση επιτροπής να είναι το 100% αυτού που θέλουμε και αυτού που ζητάμε. Αποδέχεται όμως και άρα το κόμμα της Νέας Δημοκρατίας, με το οποίο φέρνουμε την ευθύνη όπως την τιμά της διακυβέρνησης του τόπου, και την άμεση επαναπρόσληψη περίπου 2.000 εργαζομένων με ειδική μέριμνα και για τα μουσικά σύνολα, για τα οποία θα διαμορφωθεί ειδικό θεσμικό πλαίσιο. Με θεσμική ισοτιμία των κυβερνητικών εταίρων. Χωρίς περιττά τελεσίρα. Είναι προφανές πως η κυβέρνηση πρέπει να έχει ορίζοντα τετραετίας.
Τι λέει ρε ο άνθρωπος να πρέπει ορίζοντα τετραετίας.
Κάνει δεκτή ο Υπουργός και να περάσει. Τελείωσε. Υπάρχει και απόφαση του ΣΤΕΠ. Ακριβώς. Άσε που είναι και το ΣΤΕΠ τώρα σε λίγο. Κάτσε ακόμα. Αν πέσει η κυβέρνηση δεν κλείνει η ΕΡΤ. Ξεχάστε το αυτό.
Η κοινοβουλευτική μας ομάδα και το πολιτικό συμβούλιο του ΠΑΣΟΚ συνεδρίασε λίγο πριν τη συνάντηση των τριών πολιτικών εθνικών. Αντιμετώπισαν τα όργανα του κινήματος και το ζήτημα αυτό στο οποίο τώρα αναφέρομαι. Είμαστε η Δημοκρατική Παράταξη και ξέρουμε να απαντάμε στις αγωνίες του πολίτη.
Για πάμε.
Για απαντά.
Για πάμε.
Θα βοηθήσει τους εργαζόμενους της ΕΡΤ η διάρκεια της Βουλής και η προσφυγή σε πρώτες εκλογές.
Ναι! Είναι ακριβώς!
Βέβαια! Εντάξει, βάλτε άλλο κανάλι, παιδιά.
Samaras's speech was broadcast an hour later. His statement had been pre-recorded, as live broadcasts were traditionally made from ERT. Our production assistant translated his speech.
In order to keep Greece in the Eurozone, we need a 4-year government. We should not repeat the mistakes of the past. We disagreed with the other partners on the ERT issue as a whole. We agreed, though, on the rehiring of 2,000 employees, as well as on the issue of a vice minister and technical advisor. Mr. Venizelos agreed on the above, but Mr. Kouvelis is asking us to go back to the sinful past. We have 3 more years and we will use them.